Eastern Cape government authorities and traditional leaders have committed to ensuring that there are no deaths this initiation season.
More than 500 traditional surgeons and an additional 500 traditional nurses have been trained. Lubabalo Dada reports.
A very good afternoon to you and the viewers at home. The stakeholders responsible for the circumcision ritual in the Eastern Cape have met with the media to declare their state of readiness for the summer initiation season 2018. You would remember that this ritual has not been without challenges. In the past, we have seen a number of young boys losing their manhood, some being hospitalized and others dying during this rite of passage. But to tell us more on the strategies that they have adopted now in order to curb those deaths, we are joined by Mzee Nkansu, who is the CEO of the House of Traditional Leaders in the Eastern Cape, to tell us about the state of readiness. Very good afternoon to you, sir, and thank you for joining us. It is that time of the year again wherein young boys will be undergoing this very important ritual. Can you tell us, as the House of Traditional Leaders, how prepared are you this time around?
The House is responsible to oversee the monitoring and intervention to ensure that we are dealing with this challenge. What has happened is that there's a structure which we call it as a provincial initiation technical task team, which is composed of the chairpersons and secretaries of the district initiation forum throughout all our municipalities in the province, and we've got about 8 of them in the province. Then what we have done this time around, which we did not do previously, was actually to ensure that we are focusing on training traditional surgeons and traditional nurses, because we want to mitigate the negligence that emanate, from the execution of this function, by them, because we have noted previously that there's a lot of negligence, and primarily also to ensure that we align their operation to the provision of the legislation, like an assessment of what equipment that they must use. Issues which relate to hygiene was also primary, and also the detection of the boys who have not been pre-screened to ensure that they are ready health-wise to undergo the circumcision in the province. Then they have been trained, and the number that has been trained so far, it's plus 500 for both traditional surgeons and traditional nurses, and that is giving us hope. And what is going to be happening now is that those that have been trained and empowered, we are going to popularize their name throughout all districts to give parents a choice, to select. That is going to mitigate an issue of bogus traditional surgeons, those that are getting into this custom by commercial means, because this is what is happening. Everyone will simply wake up and say, I'm a traditional surgeon, because they want to charge money. Then now we are mitigating that angle. Then now it's going to be the choice of the parents to ensure that they select traditional surgeons and the nurses that have been empowered and that are well experienced in the execution of this function. But also in the content of the training that was given to them, was to ensure that they use water. Boys must be given water to a certain extent, whilst they are there. Because previously we have noted that one of the primary reasons that leads to death, it's due to dehydration. And at least we are now trying to handle that. What also we have done, we have ensured that we established initiation working committees. By so doing, we want to ensure that at the level of traditional councils, you've got committees that must monitor the initiation schools on a daily basis. Because now you can't rely on the district initiation fora because they are there only once a week or twice a week. Then now to ensure the daily monitoring that it's happening, we ensured that we established those initiation working committees. But we can indicate that there are areas that are not yet covered. But we are certain that those areas that have not been covered, so far, the local initiation fora, they will find mechanisms of ensuring that those areas are also monitored. We continue to do awareness campaigns up until the 11th hour, of the initiation custom. We continue to do that because there are issues which relate to underage. There are 16-year-old boys, 12-year-old boys who want to be circumcised. And I think what we are currently doing now is to ensure that we create those awareness to say those who must be circumcised must have reached 18 years. That's a law. And within the law, these issues are under the prohibition clause. We want to inform all the people of the Eastern Cape to say that the law requires that you get into the initiation school once you are 18. Underage is not accepted. I think this is what we have done to create that awareness. We have bought adverts, from the print and the media to ensure that we accelerate the awareness in relation to the content of the legislation.
All right, and then now with regards to the training of the traditional surgeons, so those who have not undergone the training, will they not be allowed to circumcise boys?
I will say we will advise that parents must utilize those that have undergone the training. Although it is an introductory phase, it could happen, of course, that there could be some areas where there has been a miscommunication around this matter. We are going to be making an immediate follow-up, between now and end of next week to ensure that at least those that have missed out, we are having a cover-up program, for them, so that all traditional surgeons, but we invited all of them to say they must come on board. And in likelihood is that those that have not, responded, it could be that are those traditional surgeons that are not well empowered, those that are having a mischief. But all what we are saying is that if you happen to miss, this training, wherever you are in the Eastern Cape, just link up with the chairperson of the District Initiation Forum so that at least you can be included in the cover-up program, that is due to take place early next week, because we don't want to leave anyone, to leave anyone behind, this program.
In the past, sir, we've had incidents wherein parents were colluding with illegal surgeons in order to circumcise underage boys. So what are the implications for that, say, if a parent now works with the illegal surgeon to actually circumcise someone who is not in a legal age to be circumcised?
We have discussed this with legal people and also with SARS, because their lack of cooperation is tantamount to defeating the ends of justice, and this is why we do not get people that are successfully prosecuted, because it's this collusion. These crooks, will be arrested. I can call them in that manner because they are interfering with this custom with wrong intention. They will do what is wrong, deviate from what is provided in the legislation, circumcising underage. But now when you take the matter, to say, parents must open cases, some of them or most of them, they refuse to cooperate. I think that remains a challenge. Hence, we plead for a cooperation, because our government is only making an intervention in this custom, because it's not the duty of government, to grab what relates to custom, and tradition in, throughout all nations. But government is only intervening because people are dying, and it's the constitutional right of these boys they've got a right to life. Then, therefore, what we are saying is that now those people who are collaborating and who are defeating the ends of justice, whether they are parents, they will face the might of law, because this season around, SABC has reinforced the coordinators throughout the province to ensure that the monitoring teams, they become more effective. We will then deal with them in that fashion. And we can plead with parents, we can plead with all relatives of boys that are going to be undergoing, this right during this season, to ensure that they visit boys on a daily basis, because our teams, we don't have sufficient teams everywhere, but irresponsibility of parents, they must own up to ensure that these boys are monitored on a daily basis to be able to make early detections on any matters that can cause trouble around this.
Well, thank you very much, sir, for your time. Well, that was the CEO of the House of Traditional Leaders, Mzinganzu, saying that they have done all in their power to make sure that boys return home safe from the circumcision schools, and also pleading with the parents to also play their part in this regard.